So, I've been playing the new demo for the new Sword Art Online game, Echoes of Aincrad. I think I finally figured out what my biggest takeaway is so far. It's not the combat, it's not the graphics, it's not even the fact that this might be one of the best looking Sword Art Online games we've gotten in a while. My biggest takeaway is that a game can be technically impressive and still feel strangely empty. Now, before I get into that, I want to start with the positives because there are actually quite a few things I like. Visually, I think the game looks great. The anime art style was absolutely the right choice. It stays faithful to the source material while also giving the world a clean, stylized look that helps it stand out. The shell shaded presentation works really well, and honestly, I think the lighting is doing a lot of the heavy lifting here. The environments themselves aren't particularly unique. A lot of the assets feel fairly generic, but the lighting gives everything warmth and atmosphere. It elevates scenes that might otherwise look ordinary. Character movement is another thing I'm enjoying. The responsiveness immediately stood out to me. You can turn quickly, movement feels snappy, and the camera feels good after a few adjustments. Overall, controlling your character feels surprisingly fluid. That's important because you're going to spend dozens of hours in a game world. Movement needs to feel good. And so far, I think they've done a solid job there. The combat also feels promising. I haven't unlocked enough abilities or experimented with enough weapons to fully judge it yet, but my initial impression is positive. It's clearly drawing inspiration from Soul style combat, and I think they've done a good job with it. It's not reinventing the wheel, but it feels competent. And honestly, that's already a step forward compared to some previous Sword Art Online games. Which brings me to the thing that keeps bothering me, the world itself, or more specifically, how empty it feels despite being full of people. The moment I arrived in the main city, I noticed something strange. There were NPCs everywhere, hundreds of them. People walking around, standing around, moving through the city. At first glance, it creates the impression of a bustling world, but the longer I spent there, the stranger it felt, because none of those people really exist. Not in the way that matters. You can't talk to most of them. They don't react to you. They don't seem to have lives. They don't appear to have routines. They're simply there, walking, standing, repeating. And after a while, the illusion starts to break. What makes it even more noticeable is the sound design. You walk into a large public square filled with people and hear birds. That's it, just birds. No conversations, no chatter. No merchants screaming, no background noise of somebody hitting a pipe or hitting a hammer. No sense that these people actually belong in this world. And suddenly, what looked like a living city starts to feel like a movie set. The buildings are there, the people are there, but the life isn't there. And that's what I think the game is currently struggling with. Because when I think about great RPG worlds, I don't think about size. I think about presence. I think about the feeling that people love there, that things happen there when I'm not looking, that every corner might have a story waiting to be discovered. Right now, Echoes of Aincrad feels like it's prioritizing scale over density. The spaces are enormous. The city is huge. The tutorial area is huge, but there isn't enough happening within those spaces to justify their size. During the tutorial, there were long stretches where I was simply running, not exploring, not discovering anything, just moving from one objective to the next. And because the character moves quickly, it wasn't frustrating, but it did make me wonder, why is all this space here? What is the purpose of it? Because space by itself isn't content. A larger map doesn't automatically create a better experience. In fact, sometimes a smaller world with more meaningful interactions feels far bigger than a massive world with nothing happening inside it. And I think that's where my concerns are coming from. Because underneath all of the visual polish, I can see the outline of a really good game. The combat is promising. The presentation is strong. The fantasy of Sword Art Online was never really about watching Kirito. It was imagining yourself inside that world. And this game finally seems to understand that. That's why I find myself rooting for it. Because I don't think the foundation is bad. Far from it. I think the foundation is pretty solid. What it needs now is life. More interactions, more conversations, more reasons to explore, more reasons to care about the space between objectives. Because right now, it feels like the game has built the stage but hasn't fully populated it with the performance. And maybe that's something they'll improve before launch. Maybe it's something that expands naturally as the game opens up. I don't know yet. That's why I'm hesitant to make any definitive judgment. I'm still early. I'm still learning the systems. I'm still seeing what the game has to offer. But if there's one thing I'm taking away from this demo so far, it's this. A beautiful world isn't enough. A large world isn't enough. A technically impressive world isn't enough. At some point, players stop asking how big a world is and start asking whether it feels alive. And that question I keep coming back to as I play Echoes of Aincrad, because if they can solve that problem, I think they might have something special.